Okay, so one thing I want to say that The Accountant 2 was very enjoyable, even though I'm not into that particular franchise. I don't really I don't know about The Accountant 2. I've never seen the first one. I mean, I know about The Accountant 2, but I don't know about the first one. The Accountant 2 is where I'm introduced to The Accountant. It stars Ben Affleck as Christian Wolf, who is this you know autistic individual on the higher functioning end of autism. If you don't know, autism works that it's a spectrum. There's a lower functioning end, meaning that they're closer to mental retardation, and but they're also socially retarded, meaning that they're socially awkward. They don't communication is difficult for them. But there's also the higher end, whether they are at least average intelligence or above average intelligence. I myself, who am on the spectrum, I have slightly above average intelligence. But while we have that higher functioning in, that more intelligence in, to where we're smarter, we still have that social awkwardness, that social retardation. And I'm not saying those words to get flagged by YouTube, but those are actual words. As a matter of fact, the word to retard means to slow down, and I wanna show that real quick if I can go into my browser here and you know uh, look up the meaning. Retard, delay, or hold back in terms of progress, development, or accomplishment. That's basically a verb, and a retardant is something that does such a thing. It's you know, not really susceptible to fire, I guess, a fabric or substance that prevents or inhibits something, especially the outbreak of a fire. So yeah, a retardant is usually something preventing fire, and so I say that because I want to be clear cut on what that means, and so yeah. Also, yeah. So this movie, it stars Ben Affleck as Christian Wolf, who is we the person with Asperger's syndrome. I know everybody is saying um autism because they don't want to even say higher functioning. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual says specifically Asperger's syndrome, but the number four, but the number five, which is the most recent update, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, DSM for short, number five has relabeled it as autism spectrum disorder higher functioning. That's basically the new term for Asperger's syndrome. But that's a mouthful, so I just still say Asperger's. I myself am an Aspie. So the account 2, directed by Gavin O'Connell. Yes, I am reading directly from the IMDb page because I do not feel like rehearsing this and studying it to the point I commit it to memory, despite how intelligent I am. Writer Bill DBQ, I'm going to butcher these names. It stars Ben Affleck as Christian Wolf, John Bonthal as Braxton, Cynthia Abadai Robertson as Marybeth Abedina, and J.K. Simmons as Ray King, who has a very small role at the very beginning of the movie. Allison Robertson as Justine, more on her character later. Allison Wright as Justine. Okay, that's the voice. So we have two Allisons. Wow, how do they manage that? Both playing Justine. Um, One's playing the voice and one's playing the whole. Because she has this thing to. She's autistic too, and she has this thing. I'm not sure about the actress, but the character Justine is autistic. Danielle Pinedita as Anais. She was in the Cowboy Bebop Netflix. That a lot of live adaptation that everybody doesn't seem to like, especially fans. Robert Morgan as Bulk, who has a key moment in the film. I'm not going to go into the rest. You have Abato, who's played by Y'all. Ocasio, he's important. And also you got Presley Alexander as Lane. She's one of the autistic kids, actually, and I don't want to go into it anymore. But so about the characters and the cast. So Christian Wolf, he's autistic, right? I never saw the first one, but I've seen the second one. And there was this whole plot point about there was this woman that has been causing havoc or was doing something or whatever. We first see this woman. She encounters J.K. Simmons' character, Wei King, and Wei King has specifically called her, putting his life at risk, knowing that he's going to be hunted down and most likely killed. Turns out the latter happens, but before he is offed within the first 10 minutes of the film, people keep saying the first 5 minutes, I say the first 10, he's particularly, he tells us something about, I forgot the line. I really need to watch this movie again to understand it, but from my first and only screening, he pretty much tells her something that you need to be careful and blah, 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 and, there's a point when he's killed. There is a chase secret, so it's not an immediate kill, but he is, he's chased and gunned down eventually, leading Danielle Pineda's character Ines to kind of figure out, what's going on and why she was targeted and why Wei King was targeted, and so yeah, I thought that she would be the character to go find Christian Wolf, but it's actually, because I remember now from the trailer, it's actually Mary Beth Medina, played by Cynthia Abbey Robertson. And Mary Beth Medina, she is, I forget if she's FBI or CIA. She's basically police. And while she does recruit Christian Wolf, once again played by Ben Affleck, she sees that his methods are rather illegal. And, she wants to go by the book. She wants to do things legally, which means making an arrest, taking that person, questioning that person, having them go to trial, blah, blah, blah. While Christian Wolf and his brother Braxton are not really about that. Braxton doesn't come into play until a good, 30, maybe 40 minutes into the film. We see him in a fancy either apartment or hotel or something. It looks like a mansion. He's trying to order a dog. That's right. He's trying to acquire a pet dog. We see the picture of it on his phone, or at least we think we do, or something. Maybe he didn't until later. But he's trying to acquire a dog, and he's trying to work out this deal with this unknown woman. This woman he's talking to on the phone, and eventually he doesn't. Eventually we find out he doesn't get the dog, and then he gets really upset and starts cursing and stuff. He's holding a gun in his hands. He's having his boxers. He has this one little funny scene to where he's talking to himself into the mirror. Practicing rehearsing greeting about, talking to this person who's the seller of this dog that he wants so badly. That's of course after Ben Affleck's hilarious scene when Christian Wolf is basically, he goes on a date. He joins one of those dating things to where you have a line of women that line up particularly to talk to you, and I myself have thought about trying this. It's very much kind of like bingo. Actually, it was during a bingo event. I remember seeing something about bingo, and it's one of those things that happen, I guess, during the time you're playing bingo. It's the same environment with tables and stuff. So apparently there was this line of women that line up to, I just said line up like too many times, to talk to Christian Wolf. And the thing about Christian Wolf, and just like in the trailer, he has optimized the dating app to to make it work for him, to the point where he's made it to where he gets pretty much all the women that are there. They have lined up for him because he's adjusted, for lack of a better word, the algorithm. And that is quite funny because, he's called the accountant for a reason. He's, I think, a tax accountant is what people are saying. And basically his condition, which is, his Asperger's, his autism, allows him to see patterns. His brain works in a different way. He says, most people see patterns and they stop there. My brain doesn't work that way. That's in the trailer. I don't remember hearing that in the movie, but I know that it pretty much shows that he's, his autism allows him to see patterns in a certain way that differs from most people, and he's able to optimize the dating app to fit his requirements, his conditions, so that he can talk to the most women. During this entire time, he's of course socially awkward. You can see it in his face. He doesn't know how to convey his expressions. If you're familiar with autism, in particular Asperger's syndrome, there's a whole condition. There's a whole list of like the behaviors, of autism, and like the behaviors are very specific in regards to social awkwardness. Um, you know, and I'm gonna put in Asperger's syndrome like behaviors just so you know that like they say symptoms, but it's really not an illness. It's really more of a just uh like a condition, if you will. I guess that is the best way to say it. So if you look at this, now characterized under autism spectrum disorder (ASD), is characterized by challenges in social interaction, communication, and sometimes repetitive behaviors. Individuals with Asperger's may struggle with understanding social cues, which is what Christian Wolf has, interpreting nonverbal communication. That's definitely what he has, and forming and maintaining relationships, which he definitely has. They may also have intense interest in specific topics. Hence, Wolf's strong interest in numbers and patterns. Engage in repetitive behaviors. There's a moment when he, you can see how straight and neat he is. He organizes his pancakes on his plate to be like very neat and stacked. Same thing with his bacon and eggs. He's got everything evenly distributed. Kind of like OCD. OCD can kind of move, can kind of be mixed in with ASD. If you think of OCD, you think of Adrian Monk, who had OCD in the show Monk that used to come on the USA. That's part of the reason. That's a part of the reason why I moved to San Francisco was because of that. That show. I was hoping to actually eventually move into his apartment at 999 Broadway, but alas, that didn't happen. So anyway, special topics: engage in repetitive behaviors. I didn't really see any repetitive behaviors that Christian Wolf had, but if I watch it again, maybe I'll pick them up. And exhibit hypersensitivity to sensory stimuli. I myself have that for sure, loud noises. But I don't see that in Christian Wolf. I'm not trying to go with the whole behavioral analysis of Christian Wolf's behavior, but I'm just gonna basically say, yeah, they take things literally, and I'm gonna say this from a kind of a general understanding because I already know what the symptoms are, so I don't want to waste too much of my time to do that. But back to the movie. So his Asperger's plays a very key role in this entire film, as we see his brother kind of pick on him, and I put that in quotes because I don't know why I put that in quotes actually. He pretty much messes with him about it, but he's really wanting to know why his older brother, Christian Wolf, Braxton wants to know why Christian has not called him in like years. Why is he calling him up now? There's this funny scene to like Christian calls his brother. He's like, "Can you meet me in LA?" And John is, and I'm sorry, Braxton's like, now he actually hangs up on him, and this is during a moment when Braxton is on an assignment, and I'm not going to go into detail about that. He's an assassin, so you can figure that out or watch the movie. I'd tell you to go vote for the latter. You can see this movie on a discount Tuesday, by the way, at major cinemas, including AMC and Weagle. But anyway, Braxton, he gets a call from his brother who needs his help because he sees the assignment is like he needs an extra man. And what happens is that Braxton is like he's taken aback by all of a sudden request to come to LA because he's all the way I think it was Germany, Berlin, Germany. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Berlin. He was all the way in Berlin, so he's like, "Can you meet me in LA this time tomorrow?" That gives you basically more or less one day to get there, and that means he has to get like first class, straight up non-stop flight, and he can afford it though because his job. Braxton's job, his occupation, his career, pretty much makes it to where he's fairly wealthy. He's affording these nice apartments or hotel rooms or whatever they are. He's trying to find a dog. He's trying to buy a dog. And he wants a puppy to go ahead and have that bonding part as you grow up. The puppy grows up. He doesn't want the mother and the dog to be separate. He's like, if the puppy comes with the mother, I'll take the mother too, because I'm not for separating the puppy from the mom, because the puppy needs the mother at least the first few years of life, for breastfeeding it and what they call winging it, and then having that emotional bond as well until the mother dies, and then the puppy you'll be raised around the owner, and he's willing to have both, but the owner doesn't want to sell both for some reason, or something like that, and it gets this whole argument to where he's not able to obtain the dog, and it's just funny because we can all relate to, especially if you have like a emotionally support animal. You want that. You understand that from a perspective of having an animal yourself. And I myself, there's so many people here in San Francisco with dogs, and I myself have been wanting a dog for a while. Unfortunately, with the lease of my room, I can't really have one, so I have to get my own apartment and maybe work with, because you have to pay a fee for having an animal. Obviously, there's a petting fee, and so I'd have to work with a property, a leasing property that allows for animals. I'm sorry, my eye it gets kind of irritated. I just had surgery this past Thursday. I had lens replacement surgery. The doctor had to go in and stitch on, like sewing stitch, a prosthetic lens onto my eye. So it's red because it's irritated still. It's healing, and I have to apply this steroid 8 times a day. I have an appointment tomorrow actually, to check on the progress, so the doctor can give me an update on what to do for the instructions, as well as I have to take these antibiotics 4 times a day. So it's 4 and 8. Easy number to keep up with, but that's why it's red. So never mind my white eye. I can't really see out of it. I can see out of it a little bit, but not too much. It's getting better every day, but yeah, I'm using my left eye. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, he calls his brother to come to L.A., and I'm thinking to myself, God, why does it have to be L.A. every single time? I myself have stopped liking LA, and every day I'm disliking San Francisco. I'm trying to find reasons to like it, but it's just so hard in both of these cities. Not having enough connections and trying your best and losing work. I've been fired from a few jobs. I've lost jobs. I'm trying to apply for USPS. I actually just finished my application today. Anyway, so he's needed in LA, and eventually he does come, and later on we see a funny scene of them chilling out at the trailer park because Ben Affleck's character, Christian Wolf, he lives in a trailer, or this trailer is attached to, of course, a truck, and he just lives amongst these other trailers. And it's funny how all the trailers in the entire trailer park look exactly the same. AMC even sold a popcorn bucket that looks like the trailer from the movie, the living trailer that Christian Wolf lives in. Like, if I just go to where you would buy, like, like food and drinks, and I just go to I'm sorry, order food and drinks. Like, I'm obviously, let's say if I order it at, I'm gonna try Kabuki 8 real quick. Order now. I know Metreon 16 will most likely have it. Kabuki 8, it has more than Kabuki 8 because it's straight up trying to sell merchandise. But stop that. Let's see, popcorn here. Okay, it probably doesn't have it because it's pretty much a specialty item. So I'm gonna go back and change the location to Metreon 16. Let's see, food and drink. Let's see, where did I find that food and drink? Order food and drinks. Metreon AMC Metreon 16. Order now. It's best to order your food now. It would be listed under popcorn, I believe. Oh my god, I guess it's not. I guess it's not there, because they got a Thunderbolt Snap Pack, but they don't have any other specialty combos, which is funny because they showed. Let me look at my actual inbox, like my messages. Where is that? I cannot find it. I can't find it. Merchandise? Well, they got plenty of Star Wars stuff, you know. They got plenty of Star Wars stuff. There's a popcorn bucket for the anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith. I know they gotta have this popcorn bucket somewhere. Sorry, let me actually Google it. Let me Google it. AMC Accountant 2 popcorn bucket. Oh, here it is. It's on the Facebook page. I don't know why. So some theaters just don't have it. So this is what the popcorn bucket looks like, right? It's called Airstream Popcorn Bucket, and it's basically like the trailer of a Christian Wolf that he lives in, and you can see that the top of it opens up. This would actually be a fun popcorn bucket to buy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you put the butter on there. I'm not a big fan of popcorn, just saying, but I've got a few popcorn buckets. I got a few cups. I've got like a Venom cup, from Venom. Venom: The Last Dance. Then I've got Sinner's cup. This is the best cup I have because it's the best movie I've seen so far, outside of Companion. I've also got the poster in the corner. So yeah. Those that. And sorry, you couldn't even see him on page. My bad. Here, okay. So now you can see it. Here is the Accountant 2 popcorn bucket. It's called Airstream Popcorn Bucket. It looks just like the trailer that Christian Wolf lives in. And like I said, the funny thing is all the trailers in the entire trailer park are identical, and it just shows how repetitive Christian Wolf as an aspect, as an autistic person is, that he wants to live in a place where all of the that's familiar and that is similar. And it's like, how do you not get your trailer confused with other trailers if all of them are exactly the same, if they all look like this, And it's like, that's how intelligent he is. He knows his trailer, so he's in a heartbeat, probably most likely along to where he lives, and that's how his brain works. Here's another picture on Reddit, of the trailer. That it's a popcorn bucket that AMC sells. Yeah, it's I can't find it on AMC, the website. I can't find it like where you want to go in and order food. I guess they don't have the merchandise, but I remember receiving a message on the app, actually, of them telling me, hey, you can order this popcorn bucket now. And I wasn't gonna get it. I know they got several films coming out. Anyway, so back into the movie. He lives in this trailer park, and there was this whole mystery about this woman. She's got this syndrome, known as, I just looked it up a little while ago, acquired savant syndrome, which is basically it's basically what happens when individuals have underwent a serious physical injury, to where like their head was injured in some way that would damn near kill them, but they recover, and when they recover, they find out that they have some gift that they didn't have before the accident. And of course, the character, and the character, her name is Anais, or whatever. And Aeneas, played by Danielle Pinata. I'm butchering those names, both of them, I know. But this character, she has this acquired savant syndrome, And what it is her memory is gone. She doesn't remember anything about her past. So she has retrograde amnesia for sure. And she doesn't know who she is. So I think she's got this identity thing where she believes that she's someone else. But she has a gift. She now has this ability to learn chess in a short amount of time. And as the doctor, spoiler alert, mild spoiler alert, is working on her condition and helping her and also studying her, he sees her progressing in ways that's like, she never knew how to do this before, but all of a sudden she's got these acquired gifts due to her injury. Because according to him, the brain rewires itself. And when it does that, you develop these certain exceptional skills or abilities, as this is saying, and this highlighted in blue, because the brain had to, in order to heal, it has to cover up those areas that were injured to protect those areas, and in doing so, you've got certain, neural networks that have been, established and reestablished, and therefore making to where the person is has certain abilities. It's not that they're smarter, it's just that they know things now that they didn't know before. It's like, if you had an injury or whatever, all of a sudden you know Kung Fu. All of a sudden you know how to do computers really well, which computers plays a significant part in this movie. And that's where the characters of Justine in particular, played both by Alison White and Alison Robertson. Robertson is the actual actor, the physical. She's doing all these things with her fingers. She never speaks. She speaks via this computerized animated voice, this text-to-speech technology. You familiar with those? Those are meant for people with a certain accessibility or disabilities. Like if a person is mute, they can pretty much whatever they type, the software will read what they type and will speak it back. So it's text-to-speech technology. And she's steadily using this technology to communicate with Christian Wolf. As you see in the trailer where like he's saying, what goes better with this or this? And she answers him, and then she says, do not wear the black suit. Why not? It makes you look like a mortician. And, it makes him look like he's going to a funeral. So she's advising him on wearing a different suit. And that's why he picks a different suit before he goes out on that date. That's like that bingo thing where he optimizes the dating algorithm for his particular benefit. So he gets all the ladies. And by the way, that entire moment was very awkward because all the women are looking at him like he's smart and looks good. But, they look at his picture, and his picture is like he's like this. And it's already awkward. You can tell by my thumbnail I look awkward, but I decided to just do that. It's kind of like, trying to be funny, to try to go along with the, to let you know how funny but awkward it is. It is awkward but funny for sure because it makes people laugh. People were laughing in this movie. They were laughing at all the little autistic things about John. Not John. Christian Wolf. And I'm actually interested now that I keep talking about it. I'm pumping myself up to go see it again, and it's like I might go see it again tonight. I think I've got one more A-list if I check real quickly. Where is my? If I go to the corner here and I look at my tickets, I think I've got one more A-list available for this week. I've been wanting to save it, but I might just actually use it for seeing The Accountant too, because I kind of don't really understand the story, although I'm trying the best that I can. I will say that AMC very soon, in the first month of May, you pay your typical $24.95 a month, but then AMC is gonna have to where you have to pay $27.90 a month for like basically right now I get 3 movies per week, and if you count the weeks of the month, that's 12. But pretty soon it'll be 4 movies per week. You can see right now, free reservations for up to 3 movies every week, and that's 12. But pretty soon it'll be up to 4 movies a week. And if you count the weeks of the month again, you see what I see? It says right here, coming soon, see up to 4 movies a week. The A-list benefits and pricing will change on May 7th. And so if I click on more here, Open a new tab. You can see right now I'm paying $24.95. All AMC theaters nationwide. California, you have to have this because you can see the next one over. It excludes California. So that's what it is right now. But starting on May the 7th, it ups to $27.99, and when you get up to 4, so you get an additional, reservation that I can use. So if you want to see a film in IMAX that's only priced at around $27, you can actually see a film in IMAX right now up to 12 times a month. And starting May the 7th, you can see it up to 16 times a month. And if you want to see it in Dolby Cinema, that's like around the same price as IMAX. You can see like a movie like 8 times in IMAX and 8 times in Dolby if you really want to do that. That's starting on May the 7th. Right now, you can do it 6 times in IMAX and 6 times in Dolby. I don't really go that far. I watch more movies in 2D than I do that I do in IMAX or Dolby. Dolby is like my least amount that I go to. Honestly, I don't really like Dolby that much. But yeah, so I'm thinking about going to go see this movie again. It is a funny movie. People were laughing their asses off during this time, and it's like, wow. I mean, I've never seen the first one, but yeah, I'm digging this one. I don't want to go see Until Dawn. The reviews are already bad. Typically, I like to go see a movie before I watch or listen to any reviews, but I'm starting to see with the vast amount of movies we're getting, people being honest on YouTube. And I watch YouTube a lot. I live stream every single weekend, all the different reviews and what people have to say. I watch Jeremy Johns, Adam Does Movies, watch Chris Stuckman, even a guy named Cody Leach who he said something disrespectful to me before in the comment section involving Deadpool and Wolverine, but even him I still watch. I'm not subscribed to him, but I'll still watch. And I just think that these people, like, now I kind of see a need to like at least give them a chance, because I think that even though I don't really take all the opinions to heart, and like I said, I like to go watch a movie before I watch any reviews. I'm going to watch reviews regardless, but I like to watch my own. I like to watch it for myself. Not only can I make a review, but can I decide officially whether or not I can agree or disagree with that person. I'm kind of thinking about starting to really watch these reviews first to see what people are, and then decide if I want to go see it. Just because of the vast amount of movies we're getting. Certain things I've already decided on seeing without a review or not, such as Lilo and Stitch, and of course I was going to see Sinners. I've seen that like 5 times now, I believe. But yeah, and the thing is, there's certain things that even I'm autistic that I wouldn't understand when to laugh unless I see it with other people. So this only has like 5 seats taken, so I'm thinking about not going to go see it tonight, because I'd have to have there'd have to be more people in the audience for me to know when to laugh. And it's not that I'm scared to laugh when of course, it's just sometimes I wonder, like, I laugh at something and it might not be really as funny to people, and other people laugh and I don't find it, and I just kind of like I just like to be in an auditorium filled with people. That's one thing I liked about going to go see Sinners so many times, is I like to see it with people, and that's why I've been seeing it in IMAX lately. Which they got one for $10.45. So I guess tonight, if I wanted to go laugh again, I'd have to go see Sinners yet again for like a 4th time in IMAX. I've seen it 3 times in IMAX already, but as you can see, it's beating the hell out of the Accountant 2. So this is supposed to be an Accountant 2 review. My bad. Anyway, so I'm not deciding yet if I want to go see Accountant 2, but I will say that thinking about it, but the reason why is because it is just funny. It is it's not really, I think it's rated R. But it's not like gory by any means. It's it's rated R. It's not gory though. It's actually surprisingly not gory, and I haven't even got into like the plot of it, because I honestly don't even understand the plot. From what I've seen in other reviews, it's basically like these kids are being held somewhere, and Christian Wolf has been pretty much recruited by once again, the character of Mary Beth Adina, played by Cynthia Abai Robertson, she has sought him out because he's the only one that she sees he can locate these kids. And the reason why she has sought him out is because she was in the first accountant, to where like she's trying to bring Christian Wolf to justice. But ultimately she fails at that, but she learns that he's the best man for this type of job. So that's why they brought her back, is because their involvement with each other on the first account, which I've never seen. I'll say that again. And I think in the first one, John Bernthald's character Braxton is hinted at. It's mentioned, so people were kind of expecting a sequel to The Accountant. And The Accountant itself was not a major theatrical release. It didn't really own a lot at the box office. The last I heard, it's mostly I think it was direct to streaming on Netflix. But even then, it was very underrated. Phenomenal, but underrated. And I guess that's why they gave the green light for An Accountant 2. And I wonder why in the poster the Accountant number 2 is kind of like to the second power. Anytime something's to the second power, that is kind of still the same as like multiplying it by 2. But when it's like 3, it's like 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. So it's like 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Yeah, 2 to the third power is 8. So I guess this is still, the Accountant 2 to the second power. And anytime you got a single thing to the second power, it's still 2. So it's just funny that they did that. But, I wasn't even too psyched about this movie, honestly. I didn't know anything about it. And I just thought it's a good movie. So, let me get back into Justine's character. So Justine, she's a computer whiz. She's doing all this really fast computer work. She's hacking into lights and making them go green, and hacking into people's like homes and like their appliances, their TV sets, their smart TVs. If it's connected to the internet, it's a victim. And I'm not talking about distributed denial of service, that type of cyber attack. Yes, I know my cyber attacks and my cybersecurity because I did take IT courses. I personally have an MIS degree, that is Masters of Information Systems, from the University of Phoenix. And while I could not find a job, still can't find a job with that, I will say that I have recognized certain themes in this movie involving technology and the use of the internet. By the way, I want to briefly mention, everybody says you can find this on the internet. You can search the internet. But what they really mean to say is you can search the World Wide Web, the www. Because the www, World Wide Web, or just the web, one's on top of the internet. The internet is all the underlying connections, if you will, that create the World Wide Web. That is, the web is reliant and depends upon the internet. They're not the same thing. They are synonymous of one another. One is dependent on the other. That is, the web is dependent on the internet and not the other way around. But people get these terms confused. They interchange them without understanding what you mean by searching the internet. You actually mean search the web. Because there really is no way to search the internet. Because if you're searching the internet, you're pretty much talking about going underneath the web and looking at all the different various connections, different nodes, as professionals in the IT department or IT field call it. Different, endpoints or machines, and what are you looking for? What computer is connected to which? What host is connected to which server or whatever, machine. It's all technical stuff, trust me. It's a lot of acronyms. You got dynamic host configuration protocol, domain name service, which is basically the phone book of the internet. I'm not going to go into all that. I'm pivoting too much. I'm digressing. But the point of it is that I was like looking at all these autistic kids straight up. Let me switch my computer over to Bluetooth so that it doesn't do anything. Typing away just really, really fast and doing all this analytical shit that I could not do. I'm autistic, but I'm not that autistic. They're like Super Saiyan to the 50,000 power autistic, like straight up. Like I said, making all the traffic lights go from red to green. Like, she did a whole woe of traffic lights. She made all of them turn from red to green because Christian, when he needs something, he calls Ho. He says, Justine, I need traffic lights green, and I also need this and this and this. She's doing everything as soon as she says it in real time. Like, as soon as you don't even have a chance to snap your fingers like I'm doing. She's just already doing the shit. I'm like, damn, this girl is like more than talented. But the thing about Justine's character, and this is, we see this in Alison Robertson's portrayal, not so much in Alison Wright. Robertson, she does this, the character's like, she's mute. She doesn't speak. But you can tell that when she's bothered by something, she's like kind of twerking. It's kind of repetitive hand gestures. We call them tics, T-I-C, tics. Into like, I myself do it. I smell my fingers a lot, especially when I'm nervous or when I'm maybe scared or when I'm just excited, but she's like, it's what happens when she's excited. She's just basically releasing energy. There's a moment towards the end to like when she warns Christian Wolf that it may be too late, and if you are, the kids are already dead. And she said that in that robotic voice, which is her text-to-speech technology, and that voice is given by Alison Wright. Don't get Alison Robertson and Alison Wright confused. Their names, their first name is pronounced the same, but Alison Robertson, who is the actress that does the physical performance, her name has 2 L's in it, while Alison Wright, who is the voice actress for the robotic side, the text-to-speech technology, that you hear in the trailer, her first name Alison is spelled with 1 L. So you can, I think, am I doing this right on my thing here? Oh, sorry, let me go into live stream here so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you see what I'm talking about right here, Alison Robertson, 2 L's, she is the physical actress that does the silent but mute performance of where she's going like this. She's doing all these tick hand gestures. And then you got Alison Wright with 1 L. She's the robotic text-to-speech voice, if you will. The one that Christian Wolf hears whenever he's talking to her on the phone. And it's funny because this character is like, she's present like a good 2/3 of the movie. She's throughout the movie, and she's not all the time, but she's put in certain moments when he needs her. She's kind of like his, if you compare, Ben Affleck to his Batman performance. She's very much like his, how do you say, the butler, Alfred. I can't believe I forgot his name. The Pepsi's getting to my head. Alfred, yeah. She's just like an Alfred, or more or less like a Jarvis for, if you're familiar with Tony Stark, or Tony Stark played by Robert Downey Jr. The Jarvis of it, he's always responding to Tony as soon as Tony says something, I need this and this. What away, sir? She's kind of like the Jarvis of this. And I say this because Christian Wolf, some people in the reviews I've seen on YouTube, they are calling Christian Wolf a superhero. And I say this in particular to the Breakfast Club, which is like, you can see, Breakfast All Day movies. They call him the superhero.
The account.
And I don't mean to get into this because I like to do this during my live streams, but I'll go ahead and show you
It's the
what
sequel
I'm talking about.
to The Accountant. Did you forget that there was an Accountant 1? We did. I don't remember The Accountant 1. Do you?
I remember there was one, and I remember enjoying it, and I remember thinking that I was a superhero because he's on the spectrum and really good at taxes, but he's also a crack shot and a bunch of other sort of like action movie stapley sort of things. He has a somewhat estranged brother played by John Bernthal, who is not so good at taxes, but very good at shooting people and beating them up.
Yeah, so I already watched that today. So yeah, John Bernthal Braxton, about him, he plays this, he's the more emotional side, if you will. He's the typical normal brother. When I say typical, he doesn't have, autism or whatever. But he's very, he reminds me of my own brother, because my own brother, we have communication issues to a point. And sometimes I don't call or text, and he's like, why don't you call or text me, man? You always try to ghost me, and he gets upset. And so I would love for my brother to not only go see Sinners with me, but I would love us. I would love for both of us to go see Sinners and The Accountant too in one day. I think we could benefit from it. I think he would laugh. I know my brother would enjoy both. Not just us being together finally, after so many years, but enjoying such movies that are brotherhood based. Sinners with Michael B. Jordan's performance as twins. The so-called how to say, smokestack twins, and then this movie, The Accountant 2, with Braxton and Christian Wolf, with John Bernthal and Ben Affleck, respectively. They're both just good brotherly movies, and you don't see a whole lot of those. You don't see a whole lot of movies with, brothers in it. As a matter of fact, when you're playing brothers, you have to be able to play off one another. And a lot of people are saying that Bernthal and Affleck play off one another very well as brothers, and they're not identical like the smokestack twins, because that's just using one actor. Michael B. Jordan is playing both Stack and Smoke, but this time it's two different actors playing, of course, two different brothers. Ben Affleck, his Christian Wolf is the older brother, while Braxton is the younger brother, and I don't know if there's I don't know the number of years, but they're very believable. You want your family performance to be believable, especially if it's just, brothers. And so there's that aspect of it. I can't really go into the plot because I myself am confused. I'm confused about the plot. I know it's about saving kids, finding, after you find out where they're located, finding this person with, what is that condition called again that I just saw? It's called, where is it? Oh, acquired Soviet syndrome. You have to find that person. That is the Anais character, played by Daniela Pinadata. I've seen her before, but I do remember her in the trailer for Cowboy Bebop, and I say that because let me stand up. I'm wearing the T-shirt Cowboy Bebop. I've also got the beanie. I bought this in Chinatown. Chinatown. And I got it at a place called Anime Pop in Chinatown. It's got the logo, and it's also got a little thing of Spike and the dog. The Japanese dog. I forgot what they're called, but they were very there were a lot of those dogs at the 58th North California Cherry Blossom Festival. That was last week. It was last Sunday was the last day. They had a whole parade, and I remember seeing a lot of those dogs. And I know that I'm digressing, but I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm coming to a close for this review. I call it a review. I'm just giving you my review of what I understand, because I really still don't understand the plot. I understand the gist of the plot, but I don't know the complete plot. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm trying to load myself to my mic. I'm still missing out on things, and that's because the movie really centers around Christian Wolf and his brother, more or less. It's not even about the saving of the kids. Like, once it mentions like the syndrome, the acquired Soviet syndrome, and also the kids that they need to be saved, and Christian needs to find them because he's been he's been requested by Mary Beth, I think her name was. Is her name Mary Beth? See, that shows how much I don't know. Yeah, Mary Beth. She's the one that brings him to that, and it's like, once you know that, that's all you need to know, because then it's just all about the brothers. Braxton. I want to say his last name is also Wolf, so maybe Braxton Wolf. Braxton and Christian. It's just about them. Braxton is trying to get Christian to tell him, why have you not called, or why have you not tried to reach me, and then Christian replies, well, you didn't try to call me either, and this is this back and forth banter between both of them. There's a moment when Braxton mentions how he saved Christian's life, and then Christian didn't call him after that. He said he would, but never did. And, this all relates to the time when Christian calls him out of the blue and asks him to come to L.A. So it's just this banter between two. But they're handling it very maturely. They're not fighting each other. It's basically just an argument. And it's all taking place in two beach-like chairs that they're just laying back on top of Christian's mobile home trailer. That's, the silver one that's blending in with all the other silver mobile home trailers. Because Braxton asks him, how do you live out here? And at first I didn't get it, but then when I paid attention to the long shot of the trailers, I was like, oh, all the trailers look the same because they're the same model. And that blends in with his autism because he has it's repetitive behavior. And that's actually, it's a smart way to be to remain let me say the word right, incognito, or not found, because the work that both Christian and Braxton do, they have enemies, and to keep people from finding them, Christian has figured it out. Just live in a mobile home that blends so well with other mobile homes because it's literally the same color. Brilliant, actually. But it's like, how can you live like this, because I live in a place with I live in nice hotels, nice countries. I'm just saying, man, you need to get out more, like socialize and talk to people, man. And it's like, why have you not tried to call me? Is it me, or is it your condition? And then Christian responds, I'm just me. And I said out loud, that's not enough to explain it. And I can understand the autistic side of it, but I can also even more understand Braxton's understanding of it, because see, Braxton, he wants to heal from his brother, and I know my brother wants to heal from me, so I'm actually sympathizing and empathizing with Braxton more than I am Christian in this moment, because I'm like, yeah, Christian should have called his brother more, because even my own brother, like, I call him whenever I can, whenever I can afford it. And if not, I try to write him. And if I don't, eventually he'll be like, well, how come you haven't called? And then I'm kind of compelled at this point to explain to him why. And so I understand that brotherly need. And I myself am like that. I've had relatives that didn't call, even my uncle. And he's like, why don't you call? And I'm like, why don't you call? And my uncle doesn't want to talk. And I'm like, yeah, you just ghost him. I've gotten used to it, but brothers are different. So that's really all I want to say. I know it's maybe not much of a review. I went with what I know. This is all improvised. None of this is rehearsed. I haven't written anything down. I don't know if I'm gonna write up a review. I want to write a review for Sinners because I know more about that movie than I do of Accountant 2. Because like I said, I kind of just watched Accountant 2 just for the hell of it, like just to see what the hype was. I understand exactly what the hype is for Sinners because there's more people that love that movie even than myself. At first, I didn't really like it all that much. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it. But then when Ryan Coogler came by for the 7 o'clock showtime on, I think it was April the 18th, when it debuted, on Friday, April 18th, he came by for the 7 p.m. IMAX showing that was in 70 millimeter. And I say that because, I've got two of these, but my first showtime, I got this one. They're both identical, so I don't know. I guess you can barely see it. Let me try to aim it down. There you go. I got the Sinners strip that's in 70 millimeter, and I got another one when I went to IMAX again. The last time I went to IMAX. So there was that. I just saw it yesterday at Kabuki 8, which is not IMAX, but it's a big enough auditorium. It's in Auditorium 1. And when I saw it at 7 o'clock, which is my second time, the first time I saw it was at Alamo Drafthouse, New Mission in San Francisco. I was like, I like it, but I don't love it. It's not the best movie of the year, and I didn't understand what people were saying about it. But after the second time I saw it, which is the first time I saw the AMC in IMAX at 7 o'clock, which Brian Coogler came by for a surprise visit, I guess that's what pumped me up to like it so much. And I even saw it again at 10:15, which was right after the 7 o'clock showtime. Both times, the 7 o'clock and the 10:15 in IMAX 70 millimeter. So that was on Friday, April 18th. And so, yeah, I saw it 3 times in the same week. I saw it on Thursday the 17th at Alamo Drafthouse and twice on the 18th at AMC Metreon 16. both locations and all 3 times in San Francisco. I'm not going anywhere else to see it. And of course, I've seen it other times at Metreon and Kabuki. Yeah, but so I've seen a total of maybe 5 times. I would say if I look at the times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 5 times. Not right now. And this is not a review. This is not a review. Trying to Donald Trump here. Not a review for Sinners. That's in another video. But I'm just mentioning how I've seen it a total of 5 times. Because it's that good of a movie. I'm gonna go see it again. I don't know about tonight. But it's that good of a movie. The Count 2 is also very good. It's very funny. It runs at 2 hours and 4 minutes. Sinners runs at 2 hours and 17 minutes. If I look at it right, if I go back to get off of Hedy Steinfeld, man, she's gorgeous. If I go back to Sinners, it runs at 2 hours and 17 minutes. My bad, I'm going to the live stream here. Yeah, 2 hours and 17 minutes on Sinners, while The Accountant was at 2 hours and 4 minutes. So they're both a little bit over 2 hours, but that's pretty much the average time for a movie. You can see that it had a 98 score on Rotten Tomatoes, while this has a 78 score on Rotten Tomatoes. Actually, you know what? I'm only on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me duplicate this tab and go ahead and look at the Rotten Tomatoes for The Accountant 2. Let me look that up again. The Accountant 2. I have not really looked this up for. I know that the one for Sinners is pretty high, but if I look at the tomato meter, and I know people like to look at top critics. Let's look at that. Verified audiences, okay. So let's look at all audiences and all critics. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. I mean, you got a 92 battle and a 78, so that's doing pretty well. If I go, and that's for The Accountant too. If I look at Sinners, however, and let me refresh the page to get a more accurate reading here. Let's go into tomato meter, and we can see verified audiences 97, blah, 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 97 on the top. Critics, go to our audiences and our critics. We got a 98 to 95. That is doing very well. It is beating The Accountant immediately, but even The Accountant is doing very, very well. And as you can see, there's a shitload of people that are talking about Sinners. And I said this would not be a Sinners review, but yet it is, kind of, sort of, more or less. But I'm just going to get into finishing this review for The Accountant 2. Please go see it to support this movie if you want to laugh. It's not really a big deal kind of movie, but if you're curious, but you don't want to spend a whole lot, once again, I want to mention Discount Tuesdays. And if you're an AMC List member, I will quickly show you what it looks like on a Tuesday. Let's say if you wanted to go see it this coming Tuesday on the 29th, and this is at Metreon alone, I'm just going to pick a random time. Like, let's say maybe if you want to see it at either 7 or 10:15, your choice. They also got it in Dolby. I'm going to take the 9:15 for that. But let's say if you're in the Kabuki 8 area, that is Japantown, and you're bored or you just want to go see a movie and just pick one time at 7:15, make sure I pick a thing like I go into the back at 7 o'clock. And now I'm going to pick another time, same seat here. Pick front. Not buying a ticket, just pretending to buy a ticket. This is Kabuki 8. Okay, good. I'm going to sit in the front. Go back to the first tab. You see Discount 2 savings will be shown in order summing, so I'm check out of this because I'm not trying to use my A-list. You can see it's priced at $18.49, and I have to do some work around here because I'm just trying to pretend that I'm buying a ticket at regular price and not using my A-list, so there's that. Bear with me. You can see right now it is $8 exactly. You're taking off $10.49. Plus it also waives that $2.19 convenience fee. So you're just paying a solid $8. And this is regular 2D. Those recline chairs, those signature recliners at AMC, particularly Metreon 16. So if you're looking for, once again, $8, and this is like the 10:15 showtime in the same auditorium, most likely. 9:15. I think this is that Dolby Cinema, normally priced at $25.49, taking off $10.49, plus that convenience fee of $2.69, making a solid $15, which is not half the price, but damn near close. I mean, $15 beats $25.49 any day. Now, if you want to count that $269 that adds to the $25.49, I'm speaking quickly, you're looking at about $28. So you're getting a pretty good deal at $15 right there. If you look at this one right now, that is once again $8, and this is at Kabuki 8. So once again, it's taking off a discount. Is a discount of $8.99. And also taking off the $2.19 convenience fee, making it a solid $8. So you're looking at paying like literally $8 if you see it in like a non-premium. Like these are the premium offers. If you just see it in regular AMC 2D, you're looking at $8. That's AMC. I don't know the price of the other theaters, but all theaters. Oh, I didn't even show. Oh, well, I didn't even show it. I'm so sorry. I didn't even show it, but I don't think I can open the page back up. Let me see. Control-Shift-T here. I'm just gonna show you one, I guess. So this is Kabuki 8, and you can see $8 right here. Solid $8 because there's the $8.99 discount plus the waived $2.19 fee. Let me try to Control-Shift-T again to get that Dolby Cinema that I mentioned. 915 Dolby Cinema. You see, you got that. Discount of $10.49 plus that discount waived fee of $2.69, making your total price a solid $15. So you're looking at either $15 for Dolby or $8 for regular 2D standard IMAX. That's AMC Laser IMAX Laser. Not IMAX. Regular 2D non-premium regular screening 2D. That's AMC Laser, but not IMAX. IMAX would probably be $15 honestly, but it's not in IMAX, so you're not even gonna like look at that. But so you're looking at a good $8 or $15 if you go see it on a Tuesday. That's just AMC. I don't know about any other theater. I know Wego is probably around $5 to $6 or maybe $8, and Cinema is probably the same price. But the point I'm making is this movie is not a big deal. But if you're still curious, but you don't want to run the risk of spending like $20 to $25 on a ticket, go see it and help. Standard 2D, just pay $8. That way you won't feel bad. You can spend the rest on popcorn if you want. Go ahead and buy that popcorn bucket that I mentioned, the one with the trailer park. Where's that image again? Let me make sure I got it on the right setting. That image I just showed you. Jesus, I don't have it again. I'll just look it up. Okay, so AMC Accountant 2 popcorn bucket. I'm looking at this popcorn bucket. Let's go to the Facebook page real quick again. So this one, the Airstream popcorn bucket. You can spend the rest on that. I wonder how much it is. I know it's about $25 to $30. You know, for the popcorn. It might be just $20. But my point is if I wanted to buy that bucket, I'm better off at spending $8 on a ticket on a discount Tuesday at regular 2D Showtime, not an IMAX or Adobe Cinema, but just regular 2D. So I'm paying $8 for the ticket for the movie itself, and the rest I can pay for the Airstream bucket, that trailer park bucket. I can pay for that, and I can also get a drink, you know, so I could even buy the Sinner's Cup, you know, so I can buy that Sinner's Cup and then buy that bucket, and I can actually go see both movies for $8 a piece. So of course Sinners 2 you want to go see it in IMAX, so you're probably going to spend $15, and if you want to spend $15, go ahead, you can go see this, or you go see The Accountant 2 in Dolby Cinema. That way you can see one in IMAX and one in Dolby Cinema, both at $15 each. So you're spending $30 on tickets, plus this was $9.99, plus the bucket's probably like $20. So you're spending, give or take, 30, 40, maybe 50, 60 bucks. But that is at the discount price on Discount Tuesday. So you're still saving almost half on the regular price of tickets. Anyway, this is the end of my review for The Accountant 2. I want to have a more thorough review for Sinners, meaning that I was wrong the first time around, and I want to kind of like give a review saying how corrected I am. And I'm glad to be corrected. I'm glad that I was proven wrong, because I didn't like the movie as much as I like it now. I've allowed myself time to process it. I've read other reviews. They all feel the same way. Well, not the same way, but I've personally seen connections like with the past. This movie is a very good timepiece movie. It's one of those history like movies, and since it's like history, because I'm from Mississippi, I'm from not the Delta per se, but my mom is from she was from Clarksdale. May she rest in peace. You know, she was born and raised in Clarksdale, so I'm from myself from Batesville. So there's a personal connection that I have with the movie Sinners, and that's why I want to make a more updated review for Sinners. More on that review, so be sure to check that out. I also want to see more during my live stream. I want to see more reviews for, I guess, Sinners and like the Accountant. I've kind of done all the ones for Sinners. I've heard what people have to say about that. I know that it is a certified Rotten Tomatoes best movie of the year. It has been straight up solidified, written in stone. It is straight up, like, you can't deny it at this point. Hell, studios are scared because this so-called original film is doing so well. So-called, well, look at me. This original film by Ryan Coogler is doing so well. Anyway, not a Sinners review, Accountant review. Do go see it, and be sure to check out my other live streams and my other reviews as I post them. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. If not, let me know why. Let me know if I'm doing anything wrong, what you want to see better. I know the eye may turn you off, but once again, I've got another week or two to be healed up, so to be, white like this one. The people will. Is that what that's called? The people. Well, around it. Also, be sure to check me out as I live stream video games. I'm currently working on Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm trying to go ahead and finish that up because I've got one more week left of my subscription of Ubisoft Plus. I didn't buy the game outright. I'm just a subscriber to Ubisoft Plus. I've not even tried out the games. I'm only done Assassin's Creed games, and I'm only working on Assassin's Creed Shadows. I actually tried the Avatar Pandora, and I could download that, but I don't think I have the space. Yeah, this PC OSC, I don't have the space. Anyway, I'm working on that. I'm also working on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. My brother's, my brother would love that game. I'm trying to finish that, but I'm also taking my time with that. I actually do own a copy of that. You never really own it, really. But anyway, I'm working on that. And like I said, I like to live stream my gameplay. I do it on Twitch. Usually I've been doing it on YouTube, but I'm trying Twitch out because I'm told that that's the platform for live streaming video gameplay. And I'm still completely new to this stuff, by the way. That's about it. It's pretty much just live streams mostly. Sometimes a video here and there of a review. So like and subscribe. Click that notification bell when I do post it, so you'll be the first one to know.